How y'all doing? First of all, let me start this off real quick. I just wanted to say this to the people out in Florida. Sending prayers to the families in that region. As a person who was born and grew up there as a little kid, and watching my family have to go through what they had to go through with Katrina, I'm very sensitive to what's taking place there. I'm just hoping and praying that all the rescue and recovery efforts are going as planned. Praying for those families for resiliency. Moving forward, okay, and kind of going backwards, but congrats to the Colts, okay? They did everything they needed to do. We got exactly what we deserved. We got our asses kicked. We didn't play very well. We didn't coach very well. We're a much better staff, and we're a much better team than what we displayed. I expect our guys to handle their business this week in practice. I thought yesterday we came out and practiced with a purpose. We had some intent behind what we were doing. And sometimes you need a little bit of humility to get you focused and going in the right direction. So with that said, I'm all ears.
Coach, can you tell us what the exchange with Patrick was like, what you were trying to say to him at the end of the half, and maybe what he was, in words that are okay, he was saying back? Maybe?
Here's the thing. So obviously we have a protocol. We're talking through the headsets. Here's what I love about Pat. Pat is a competitor. You guys have heard what I've said in the past about him. You want him that way. That's how you want them. You want to finish every drive in the end zone with a score. At that particular time, as a staff, we decided, you know what, we're getting the ball, to start the second half off. So we just want to take a knee. So obviously, Pat being the competitor that he is, he wasn't ready to hear that. But at that particular time, I was just trying to calm the storm. Y'all know how I am. You guys have seen me erupt. So if it would have been a true eruption, I think you guys would have recognized that. But after that, that was it.
Coach, do you have to coach that position different? Like, I know, like the running back, picking up a blitzing linebacker is a physical and probably you need an emotion to do that. It's more of a cerebral position with the quarterback. Do you have to coach Pat or any quarterback differently than you would say a running back or a linebacker?
No, I think you coach the individuals different because everybody's different. Everybody can't handle certain things, or everybody's built differently. So you just want to make sure that you know exactly which buttons that you can push with certain people. And so that's the beauty about being a coach, is making sure that you know the environment of everybody that there is on your team. And we spend a lot of intimate time together. So, and I encourage all our coaches to make sure that we know the people, because if you know the people, okay, you can get great production out of the players.
Is he afraid to be coached hard? Because you get this thing where right now social media, there's one former player who has something. It seems to have something against you. Talks about the way that you seem to coach that players don't like, but everybody else seems to love you. So is it a manner in which how you talk to a particular player, how you talk to players, or can they not take the tough coaching from you?
Yes, you can coach players hard, okay? And certain players deserve to be coached hard. But one thing that you got to understand is different situations and how you handle and how you react. So as far as coaching, we're coaches. Our job is to make sure that our players are doing exactly what we want them to do, all right? On top of that, we've been doing this for a long time. So if there's an issue, we can have that discussion at the appropriate time. So, and then when it's all said and done with, too, I think that's getting left out of this conversation. The head man has 51% of the vote. So whenever the head man say, hey, this is what we're going to do, then that's what we're going to do.
Eric, were you just relaying a message that Andy had made that decision? Are you the middleman in that conversation, I guess?
And, we as a staff made that decision. So, and you got to understand, when I'm on the headsets with everyone, we're talking about, hey, you know what, let's just get out of this half. So we all decided as a staff to make sure, let's just get out here, let's go regroup, let's make sure that we can get our guys focused and come out and play.
I guess the question is why, because Patrick starts that conversation with you, right? He doesn't start it with you.
He's always going to talk to me because I'm in direct communication with him.
And then, like I said, he started that conversation. Would you prefer that conversation started in the halftime locker room?
The conversation happened. One thing you guys got to notice and notice about me, I have no problems with players getting emotion and feeling how they feel, okay? I embrace that. I embrace the energy and the emotion that they bring, because the thing that you don't want to do is take that away. Now, could it be handled a little bit differently and professionally? Yes. But in that heat in the moment, you want your guys to be guys that want to go out and be the very best, who wants to come away victorious at any means necessary. So the exchange that we had, who cares? It really doesn't matter, because when it's all said and done with, we're going to talk a minute or two later and talk about exactly what we need to do. And so there is no personal issues. You know, you just keep it moving forward.
And what you're saying, it sounds like you're saying it wasn't something that needed to be talked about in any way later.
Not at all. I'm sure if you watch film, you guys will see emotional exchanges every weekend that take place. I happen to be an emotional guy.
Coach, you mentioned how you have the head man has 51% of the vote here, Andy. How often would you say that maybe you get the reins and you get 51% of the play calling, if at all, and how much do you relish those opportunities?
Well, sometimes I get 51%. Sometimes I might get 52%. But then you got to understand, if I got 52%, the head man still has that 48%, and he might pull rank at times. So, but you guys got to understand, we have a great line of communication. We pride ourselves on doing a great job. Obviously, that result has nothing to do with what took place. We lost that game because our guys wasn't ready. And because our guys wasn't ready, that falls on us as a coaching staff. So our job is to make sure that our guys understand the importance of taking care of the little things. And when you got a lot of young players and you got a new environment, it's our duty not to take that moment for granted, okay? So not only was it a great lesson for our players, it was also a great humbling experience for us. And so we got to make sure that we're on top of everything, just like we have been in the past. But I'll go backwards to say this. Sometimes you need a little humility in life to get you focused on the direction which you need to head.
Well, Coach, talking about humility, last time you played Tampa, as you told me privately, they kicked you all's ass in the Super Bowl. That being the case, how focused are you all, how prepared do you have you all going up against this defense? Number one in the league, Todd Bowles. I mean, talk about this upcoming game and what you're going to be facing.
Todd Bowles does an outstanding job. Obviously, he's been in this league for a long time. He's been a great defensive coordinator. Now he's the head coach / defensive coordinator. He has a great staff. And guess what? They're doing a hell of a job on defense. So when you turn on the tape, our guys know you got to line up and play. It's going to be one of those games. It's going to be a 60-minute dogfight, and may the best team win.
Coach, some of the younger players said they noticed just a little bit more intensity, and the veterans have talked to them about, hey, they kicked our butts in the Super Bowl, we haven't forgot, we're looking forward to this opportunity. The youngsters are saying they feel that, but you're also looking at a team that their game ended the wrong way too. They're coming off frustration, so you got two gladiators coming together who are off games they weren't happy about, having a rematch on the biggest stage. So what are you expecting in this?
Well, here's the thing, and I say this respectfully and humbly, okay? I don't care what took place with them. The only thing I know, we got this dirt on our shoulders. And the only way that we can get this dirt off our shoulders is to make sure when we come to work every single day, we're going to be the best player in that training room as far as getting my mind, body, and soul ready to go play a physical football game. We're in that classroom. It's my job to make sure I'm presenting the right information and getting them ready and prepared to have a complete understanding of what we're expecting. As a player, I want our players to make sure they're detailing all the notes, and then when it's time to practice, we're not taking anything for granted. And when it's all said and done, we're putting the right effort, the right attitude and determined mindset on tape, that if we go out and do everything that we're capable of doing, you know what? We got a chance. We'll give ourselves a chance to have a chance.
Coach, do you think there's some offensive growing pains, or do you just feel like last week was maybe a lack of execution like you had hoped for against the Colts?
No, I'll just say this. The Colts kicked our ass, and we got exactly what we deserved. And kudos to the Colts. They did exactly what they needed to do. Just like you guys know this because you guys have been working in this profession for a long time. You're just not good enough to think that you can just show up and win. That's the lesson in all of it. So if you want to be great, you have to learn how to take care of business every single day. And as a staff, it's our job to make sure that our players are staying on top of that. But on top of that, we got to make sure that we're holding each other accountable and we're holding our players accountable, because indirectly we all impact each other's lives. So we got to make sure that we're staying on top of the little things to help us moving forward.
Last two, Adam and Saran.
Eric, you said a minute ago, sometimes you need a little humility to get your focus back. Was that a problem last week, maybe? Do you feel like guys maybe weren't focused enough? And this is sort of maybe getting them tunneled in, if you will?
No, I felt going into the game we were focused, but obviously we didn't have the attention, the details that was needed to go out and execute, to give ourselves a chance to come away with a victory, because there was a lot of mistakes made, and I don't place all that blame on the players. That's on us as a coaches, because as a staff, because we got to make sure that they're ready. And then our great players got to stand up and make plays. We have to make sure that we're doing all the little necessary things that's going to help us to be the best team that we can be on Sundays. And I'll say this as well. Our leaders will continue to lead. They know exactly what took place. Not a lot has to be said from us as a staff, because you can hear it in the small circles and the conversations that are taking place.
Last one, Saran.
Sorry to backtrack, I tried to get this in at the time, but you when you were talking about the Patrick, thing, you said, at the end of the day, who cares?
Yes.
And I get that point, but you've also interviewed for jobs. Do owners care? When you've had those conversations, is relationship with not just players, but franchise quarterbacks.
You know what? That's a great question for the owners.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, Eric.
Oh, you're welcome.
Well done.
Y'all take care.